I'm very excited about this opportunity. I really am. Something that I've been thinking about for a while, and it just so happened that we were able to get to talk about it and get something done with it.
Howie just told us that you've been helping him along the way here. Can you tell us what your role was, what the capacity was, and how that went for you?
It was just more consulting stuff. Anything that I can help out with some of the guys and some of the guys that they were looking at to bring in from the drafts and stuff like that. So I've been doing some of that type of stuff, and also some other conversations I won't get into. But so I've been having conversations off and on with Howard.
Why scouting as opposed to coaching and broadcasting?
Well, I think that it's not just scouting. Like, I'm trying to grasp the whole gambit of football operations, of how a team is run. So I'm learning about the scouting part of it, how the terminology and all those things. But sometimes it's either you have an eye or you don't. And I've been blessed to have an eye to be able to see talent. And so if I can help in that respect, love to do that. But also I want to learn everything about running a football team.
So you're really good on TV.
Oh, thank you.
How tough is it to kind of, I mean, that's a cushy job. It's how tough is it to kind of leave that?
Well, it's not really tough because that opportunity was not there at the moment. So it's time for me to look for other things. And this is something that I've been thinking about for a while, like I said. Didn't know it would come to fruition this fast. But here it is. And, sometimes, and I kind of said this, that sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone to really see what you can achieve. And so this is something that I'm really looking forward to seeing, that this is something that'll move to something even bigger.
You'll still be based in Colorado?
I will be based in Colorado as of right now, yes.
I know your family is very important to you. Will you be traveling a lot or a little?
Well, this year, the way that things are out, we will get down to, as far as the schedule is concerned, of how much I'll be traveling and how much I'll be able to stay up in Colorado and do things remotely. And so, we'll have those discussions as we move forward with this thing. This is a fluid thing, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Well, when you say it could lead to something bigger, what exactly would bigger be?
Bigger is bigger.
GM?
Bigger is bigger.
Owner.
I don't know what bigger is. I just know bigger is not where I'm standing right now. So whatever bigger is, then that's what we're shooting for.
And how much do you miss just being around the game in this kind of way, just on the sidelines?
It's one of those things that even when I'm going different places. For instance, I was in Orlando with my family, and we're passing by, me and my brother-in-law, to go to the gym. I passed by a football field, and as I pass by, there's nobody in the stadium, but there's a certain comfort I have when I see football fields. So just having that knowledge of understanding of being able to bring what I know and what I've learned over the years back to this organization, not just for the guys upstairs, but for the players downstairs. I can have conversations with them from time to time. I'm not going to overdo nothing. I know how to give people their space. But I just feel comfortable. This is a place that I feel comfortable. Not just this organization, but the football field, watching tape, having those discussions. I feel comfortable doing those things.
It's like the evaluation, like making evaluations of players and getting to know them and evaluating them from who's got it and who doesn't.
Yeah, and being that you play the game, you understand that when you get up there in age, playing the game, you see young guys come in, and you're hoping that they can help the team win that year. So you start to evaluate even back then. So now that I'm out of the game, I just take those things that I've learned then and apply them now. See, evaluating guys and see if they can help this team going forward to bring this place back to some place that it was when I played here. The energy was completely different. There's expectations every year of what we're going to do. And I'm pretty sure the players will tell you the exact same thing. They want to get this thing back there as well.
The challenges of a great player, we see it in basketball, like a guy like Michael Jordan, struggles to apply, Magic Johnson when he coached, struggles to apply the greatness that they had to the players they assess. Do you have any of those struggles? Do you ever, or you can separate what you were able to do versus what you're looking at?
The way that I try to operate is I try to break things down to the least common denominator for me to understand them, to digest them so I can use them. So I do the same thing when I explain stuff. So whatever I have to do to say in terms that they'll understand, because I've done it in high school, the same as I've taught the things that I taught on the pro level. If I was teaching, I do the same thing on the high school level. I have to even break it down further for those guys because they don't understand. So I've done these things before. I know how to communicate. And so again, for me, I'm a simplistic dude. So I need things broken down for me. I'm a visual cat too. So to be able to explain to these guys so they can grasp it, I don't think that would be a problem.
Brian, did you get tired of the ESPN thing, or did you just want to get back to be around it more than you were?
No, I enjoyed my time there. I really did. It was just one of those times that everything kind of fell into place for me to have more freedom to do other things, and this was that opportunity. And it presented itself, and I jumped on it, and we're rolling with a fluid situation.
Is working your way up the ladder something that excites you, something you're willing to do?
Well, if you followed my rookie year,
Yeah.
that's what I did all my career. Like every step of my way in football, I did the exact same thing. Pop Warner, high school, college, pros, and now hopefully front office. Work your way up. It's no big deal.
When you left here, obviously, you've spoken a lot about the hard feelings, and even as recently as when you were here a couple of years ago, I know there's some bitterness. Does this go a long way toward kind of healing whatever happened in the past between you and the team?
Well, that stuff is gone. There's nothing we can do about it to change any of those things. And through those things, you have to look at the positives of things as well. I'm a positive dude, so I try my best to look at the positives. One of the positives, I still live in Denver right now, which is a beautiful place. So have not had that not happen, I would not be in Denver with my family right now. So there's a lot of positives that I can bring from that. But this place means too much to me. It's not about the people who run it. It's about the place. It's about the Eagle Green. People can come and go, but this will remain the same. And so that's what drives me to want to do more for this organization.
Brian,
what
what
did
did
you
you see out there today that was encouraging?
Well, this first day is usually a tough one because you're knocking off that rust, getting back used to playing football with pads on, which is difficult, and they're learning a lot. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, they were flying around, especially that first unit. They were flying around, making plays, and especially Malcolm had a couple of big plays today. So I think that's something that I was expecting to see. That offense struggle a little bit, and then the defense be ahead of the game. Because once again, offenses are usually going to be a little slower starting off than the defensive one.
Brian, we were talking a little bit about the idea of the safeties here, right? Because Quentin, when he played in St. Louis, sort of talked to Rodney, and they got to know one another. And when Rodney had a choice to come, Quentin kind of talked him into, hey, Philadelphia's a great spot. You led Quentin and really kind of talked him and showed him the ropes in Philadelphia. Can you talk a little bit about all of this full circle as it relates to the safeties and the relationship you guys have?
It's a special bond that especially the guys that I played with in the secondary safeties. Not just Q, but you had Tim Hawkins back. So he's here as well as a coach. So when you have a position of strength, and I considered the safety position to be a position of strength when I was here with my teammates. We have that back again. We have a depth at the position. We have two quality starters, and like I said, depth at the position. So then, when you begin to do that, what you do is you build a situation where every guy that comes in at the safety position, where you expect this. We expect you to be this, not specifically an individual, but we expect for you to handle yourself this way at that position. I think that we're developing that, especially with Malcolm leading that thing.
In knowing Doug Peterson the way you do, what makes you think he can do this job well?
Say again?
In knowing Doug Peterson the way you do as a former teammate, what gives you confidence that he could do this job well?
I think the one thing that you also see is the quality of the coaches that he brought in. Guys who've been in the league, that have done it before. So he's not doing everything by himself the first time. But he's a builder. And he's going to have this place going back in the direction it needs to go for these guys to believe in one another, come back together as a team, and perform thus. I love the being in pads. I love the physical part coming back to Philadelphia, which is going to be huge for this team. But I think that, the decision makers on game day is one of that. Those are the things that are going to be a challenge for him. But at the same time, I think that because he's been through it a little bit in Kansas City, given the reins to call some plays, I think that he'll be successful.
Doug, what does it mean that Doug was here as a player, he was here as an assistant coach, that he understands Philadelphia in terms of coming back here as head coach?
Well, that's huge, because not everybody can have success in Philadelphia. Not every athlete can play in Philadelphia. They can't. Some people can't handle it. They can't handle the toughness. They can't handle the tough love. So I think Doug going through it, and the fact that he's more of an even keel type of guy, that he can handle the things, some of the bumps that they're probably going to face, especially early on the offensive side of the ball.